All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amaya 365 Live. How's everybody doing today? I know it's Saturday, so happy Saturday. Just gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get into the chat. The underwear on our head. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to my 365 Live. This is our second live, so I'm so excited. What is everybody up to? How is your weekend? Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Hey, hey, hey. All right. Don't mind. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Don't mind me. I was just making sure our stream is up and live, making sure that I could check the audio, make sure everything is synced up. We are good to go. 1K subs. Yeah, so we surpassed the 1K sub. I think now we're close to 1.3, if not 1.5K. Thank you so much for all the love and support these last months, especially when I took time off. You guys were there for me. So thank you so much. It's been so beautiful. So beautiful. You can hear me. Perfect. Alan Starr, I'm here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on live today so that we can have an open discussion of this issue and just kind of bring the facts and kind of just set in reality of like what it is to be trans here in America and abroad and kind of what we face. So I'm going to jump right into it. So recently I came across an article about this trans news reporter, Serena Daniari. Sorry if I mispronounce your last name, but I recently came across that, and she's from New York and had a terrible, terrible incident on a New York subway station where she was just hanging out, waiting for her train, and a couple approached her and asked her a question. And when she went to respond, I guess her voice, they clocked her basically by her voice, and then they started spewing transphobic slurs at her, which is terrible, terrible, terrible. And so that, I guess, transpired to them being on the train, and he spit on her and slapped her phone out of her hand, and it led to a whole ordeal. Usually when it comes to things like that, you know, the progression of violence escalates really quickly amongst trans people or against trans people. So that was really sad to read. There was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel to this story, which I got to read today, was that the guy was found. His name was Pablo Valle. He was 26 years old, and thankfully, New York, being amazing as it is, was able to charge him with a hate crime as well as 2 counts. One, the first degree harassment, and then second degree aggravated harassment. So I thought that was awesome. If you're out there spitting on trans people and spewing transphobic slurs at them, you definitely need to be prosecuted. So I'm glad that New York was proactive and made this conviction happen, because this is what needs to happen. Trans people need justice, and it's so sad to hear about, our trans brothers and sisters who more than not end up losing their lives due to violence. So I'm glad this one is having a better outcome. So I just want to hop back in the chat and give some shout outs. Yes, thank you, Alan, and thank you, Underwear on Our Head. And so, and yes, thank you for all the comments. Ozabum, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Live Amaya 365. I mean, I'm so glad to hear that this case is being handled correctly, because oftentimes authorities, tend not to want to deal with trans issues, or they tend not to take the side of trans people because of the stigma of like, we're all sex workers, or even if we are sex workers, we still deserve the right to be able to defend ourselves or to be protected by law enforcement. I think that's super important, but oftentimes that usually works against us. So it's really, really sad. Hey, Big John, thank you so much for the love. Thank you for joining the live tonight. Edward, hey, how are you? Thank you so much. How is everybody's weekend going? I know this is a heavy topic, so before we dive deeper into it, let's do a self-check. And how is everybody's weekend? What are you guys up to? Any fun plans? How are you enjoying your weekend? Turned on the notification and liked. That is awesome. I love to hear that. If you want to stay up to date with the Maya 365 and what we got going on here, be sure to check out the notifications, check that, and the bell icon so that you are notified as soon as we go live. Hey, King Ace. Hi, friend. You're looking amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on a live Amaya 365. But yeah, so like I said, what went down with Serena in New York, I'm really glad that she's able to get some justice. And what I think, I'm going to reach out to her and see if we can't get her to join us on a future episode of My 365 so she can tell us her side of the story and just her experience maybe of being trans and what it's like. I also want to give a big shout out. I'm not sponsored or anything, by the way, or this isn't an ad, but I just really liked Trans Swag. I have to give them a huge shout out. Hey guys. So yeah, I just had to give them a shout out. Oop. Let me see if I can get it on. So big shout out to Trans Swag and their merch. I'm not sponsored by Trans Swag or anything. Like I said, I just really love that they are a trans owned, operated business supporting trans people. So of course I had to buy it and rock the Trans Swag. So shout out to them. Go check them out. I will have a link in this video in the description below so that you can check them out. All right, so getting into some of these comments. How was your weekend? Watching the weekend is good. Going to watch the Super Bowl. Nice. Okay, like I said before, I haven't kept up with too much football this year, unfortunately, but I know it's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to the halftime show. So yeah, it should be really good. You're a wee bit earlier tonight. How long are you going to be live? So this live, Amaya 365, will be a shorter live only because on our YouTube channel, we usually keep our videos pretty short. The lives will be under 30 minutes. So we'll keep it short tonight. And then thank you for liking my sticker again. Of course, thank you so much for the love and support on Facebook. I always enjoy reading your guys' comments either here on YouTube or my Facebook. Casey Hooks, hi. How's it going? I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Thank you for joining us. And then who do you have a PayPal? I can show some love. I do have a PayPal. Can link that right now here in chat. It's through my photography website, and any donations that you guys send to me just goes to making our streams and my 365 that much better. So I appreciate any donations. Of course, it's not mandatory, but it is appreciated. So thank you so much, guys. And I'm going to leave that right here. All right, my PayPal link is right there. It's tshoneyfox@gmail.com. So if you want to show your love and help support my 365 in our channel, please feel free to. No pressure though. If you can't and you just want to like and comment and join us here on our lives, I appreciate you just for that as well. No pressure. The weekend is going good. How is yours? My weekend is going amazing. I get to be here with you guys. As I said on my last stream last week, I am celebrating my 5-year anniversary with the hubby. So we will be celebrating tonight, and you'll get to see a little bit of the footage in the next Amaya 365 video. Just kind of a recap behind the scenes for you guys of what goes down tonight. But yeah. Casey Hooks, love your tattoos. Thank you so much. I really have a ton of tattoos, but I thank you for that. How long have you been doing these just on YouTube? Okay, so I started my channel in 2009, 2010. It started with the Adventures of Honey Fox, and that was just my best friends and I just running around San Francisco, being young and just documenting what it meant to be trans, living our best life in San Francisco, which was really, really fun. And then I started doing Amaya 365 about a year ago. And I kind of lost direction a little bit with the Maya 365, so I had to kind of put my thinking cap on and hold myself accountable, which is my goal for this year. That was my New Year's resolutions, to hold myself accountable and stick with a Maya 365, and it's been amazing. You guys have shown, even when I was in a rut last year, that you still wanted me to continue with the videos, so here we are. Oh, we love you, Amaya. I love you guys too so much. So much for all the love and support through the years. 100%. Congrats to you and your hubby. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You have a few tattoos yourself, Edward. Nice. Tattoos are such a beautiful way of self-expression, which I think is, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with expressing yourself. My hubby just got his first tattoo last year when his dog passed. So I thought that was special and just, it was beautiful, you know? Hey, Pedro. Thanks so much for stopping in tonight. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it so much. How's your weekend going? Tattoos are great. Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I know this is kind of getting back to our topic. I know it's something heavy and something that oftentimes we don't hear too much about through media because trans murders and hate crimes are usually swept under the rug and not really brought to light, unless it's a huge deal. Like when Arajo really kind of was the tipping point of the trans community, where that was such a public murder. And a couple murders in the last couple years have really come to light, but oftentimes it's swept under the rug. It's something that isn't really talked about because a lot of times they can be related to domestic violence or sex work, and most people don't want to talk about it. So I just wanted to drop some facts that in 2018, there were 26 trans women or trans people killed in the US alone. And then last year, there were 22 murders killed in 2019. So it's so it's so devastating for the community to have numbers like that, because without the proper education and without the proper media coverage, things like this are going to continue to happen. And the worst part of this is that these murders are of trans people of color, specifically trans women of color. And a lot of it is, like I said, either domestic violence or because of um, uh, sex work gone wrong or something related to sex work. And so there have been many states that have had the trans panic defense, or gay panic defense as it's called, is that it states that, you know, people can plead basically kind of temporary insanity and get away with killing a trans person because they weren't told or because they found out after the fact. And nowadays, well, just in the last couple of years, a lot of states have started to abolish that law, which is great. I don't think anybody should be, anyone should be able to get away with killing anybody, period. But especially with the trans convictions, I think it's important now more than ever that these people are prosecuted, because this is not something that's going to stop without these people being able to fear justice. If they know that there's going to be consequences to their actions, they're not going to want to do that. And that's all that the trans community is really putting out there, is that we want that same protection as everybody else. We don't want this trans panic defense, or for people to turn a blind for authorities to turn a blind eye just because we're sex workers or because it's domestic violence. And oftentimes it's seen on, same gender, even if you're transgender. So if you're a trans female, it would be male on male if your partner was a male, so that's really what trans people are after, just making sure we're getting the right protections. I'm going to jump back into the comments to see what you guys have to think about this. I like your hairstyle. Thank you. I am VR, by the way, on PayPal. Okay, awesome. I will be on the lookout for that and send you a personal thank you note. Like I said, any donations, they're not, mandatory, but we do appreciate it, and it goes into making our streams that much better for you guys. It's shocking. It is shocking, and it's absolutely devastating. Every trans murder, it just hits home. Like that could have been me, or that could have been one of the girls that I grew up and transitioned with. Like and I've had sisters who I know have been either murdered or had um who have had issues with domestic violence, and nothing comes of it because authorities aren't willing to take proper action. Pedro says, "You're so beautiful. I need someone like you in my life, an educated person who loves life." I think that's a great goal to have. And especially if you're into trans women, there are many beautiful trans girls out there, educated, who are just living their best life. So I love that. I love it. I love it, guys, so much. I love hearing that. Hit that like button, honeybees and fox stars. Yes, Alan, thank you so much for the hype. Yes, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you can keep up with us anytime that we are live. Anytime my 365 goes live, you will be the first to know, or anytime we put out new content, y'all will be the first to know. So, what are your guys' thoughts when it comes to this trans panic defense? And what do you guys think of Serena's story? Do you think it's okay for people to target trans people just because they're trans? Do you think that the city of New York is handling this properly? And is there anything that you would change to help better protect trans people, or help better protect the trans community? You're in Houston. There are babes there. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, Houston definitely has a variety of beautiful, beautiful trans people. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. In Dallas, Houston, Austin. Nice. Glad to hear it. So glad to hear it. So my thing is that, the focus with when it comes to trans people in media tends to be bathroom bills and being able to be recognized as the gender that we transition to. I really think that should be non-negotiable, honestly. When I walk into the women's room, I'm not there to spy on you, or anything that's been said about trans people. I'm literally there just to go pee. When I walk into the bathroom, it's just to pee. Like, I'm not there to hang out. I'm not there to chit chat. Like, like, I'm in a private stall to myself by myself. Like, what is the issue? And so I think that's always been something really huge. And that's what media focus mostly on, is about parts and not hearts. And then the other thing is just being able to call ourselves women as trans women. And I don't get it. Like, we put in more effort to be feminine and exude femininity than most women. So I don't get why you wouldn't call us and perceive us as women. You know? I saw this great analogy the other day. Well, a couple weeks ago, I saw this great analogy on Instagram. Was basically that if you have a puppy and you're out walking your dog, and someone comes up and is like, oh, that's a good boy, and you're like, actually that's a good girl, and they'll be like, oh, what a good girl. They correct themselves. Why can't they do the same with trans people? And so that analogy just rung so true with me, is that if you're able to correct yourself with something about that, you can correct yourself with trans people. It's not that hard. Plain and simple. Basic common courtesy. And then the other great point from that was, don't assume somebody's gender. Straight up, don't assume someone's gender. Since retiring, was there anyone who you would like to work with? That's a little bit off topic and maybe for another conversation. Nice. Yeah, you were in Grey's and it was gender free. That's dope. I love hearing stuff like that. People fear what they don't understand. It's easier to hate and be one-sided rather than learning and stand alone for what's right and defend. It's horrible. I totally agree. 100%. I totally agree with that. I think, education is a huge part of trans awareness, and without it, it's going to be such a hard time for those who know trans people or really don't know anything about what being trans is. AJ says, hi, longtime fan, but new to your channel. Use terms that I didn't hear, or when I look at trans philosophy class. Okay, yes. Okay, so the proper term for a genetic woman is either genetic or cisgender. So when we talk about genetic, yes, we're talking about naturally born women instead of women who transition into women. Um, so yeah, those are definitely some terms that we use. Um, I don't want there to be so many terms for me. I think I'm more black and white. Like, I don't really like, I can't say that I don't like it. It's not for me. I get it though, the whole gender binary, which I totally respect and I get. For me, I, I get that, but for me, that's like androgyny. And it's always been that. Like, you have male, female, and androgynous. That's what I grew up with. It wasn't, you know, gender binary female or gender binary masculine. Like, like it's becoming too confusing. Too confusing. Let's keep it really simple. But I respect it. I respect it. I wish nothing but the utmost peace, love, and positivity for everyone all around the world, transgender or not. I do too. I think, everyone deserves the right to be happy, to live your life to the best of your ability, and to not have to worry about racism, transphobia, homophobia, um, you know, if you're Muslim or if you're Jewish, like, you should just be able to live your life without being discriminated against or being hated on because of, whatever their bias. Like, just live your life. All right, no one wants to hear all that. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Keep those kind of comments to yourself. Sorry. It's not the place nor the time. Amaya 365. If you are here for Amaya 365, that's great. And I love all my honeybees being here, but this is not a Honey Fox channel. This is not Honey Fox porn star territory. This is something completely different. That was great for the time it was. I'm not in the industry. I have no affiliations with the industry. This is not the time nor the place for that. And if your comments relate to that, either keep them to yourself, or if you do post them, you'll see, like he did, you're gonna get a timeout. It's not a Lana Star. How? What? I'm not a Lana Star. Some of you, okay, hi, but I'm not a Lana Star. But yeah, a lot of women or a lot of trans people are genetic women as well. Or a lot of trans women are as feminine as genetic women. Sorry, I was a little bit flustered there. I'm not a Lana Star, but I'm glad you're an admirer. And yeah, that question had me a little bit frazzled. It looks like I'm gonna need a what's it called? A moderator for this. But to kind of wrap things up amongst the trans hate crimes, what I really, really like to see is that these people are being brought to justice. And that's kind of the rainbow at the end of this story, was that, you know, something terrible happened to this girl, which is traumatic. No one deserves to be spit on. No one deserves to be attacked verbally, emotionally, or physically just because they're trans. And I admire the New York department, the police department, and the courts for bringing this person to justice, because it's what she deserves. just as a human being, period. Like, she deserves justice for what happened to her because no one should be put in that situation. So I give all props to handling the situation with care, with the news media outlets who have handled it with care, with not misgendering her, with making sure that they are delicate in how to present this and that this person was brought to justice. So I'm really happy with that. And this is one of the better outcomes that just in the world that we live in brought a little light to what being trans can look like in America. Because oftentimes we hear about stories like this and they don't have a positive outcome. So this really, really warmed my heart, and it gave me a little bit more faith in humanity, and a little bit for the community, that a little assurance that, we're not going to stand for this kind of injustice. All right, King Ace, you said your phone's about to die. Great seeing you, and hope you continue to have a blessed weekend. Much love and high respects. I hope you have an awesome weekend as well. AJ said, in school, yes, gender binary was taught and cisgender women was a term. I learned the term genetic woman from you. Oh, okay, yeah. So if we're talking about genetic or cisgender or just biological women, those are a couple terms that I use in accordance with that. Robert says, your hair is awesome. Love it. Thank you. As you guys know, I love changing up my hair. Short, long, colored, everything up under the sun. So it's always a fun time. Oh, Alan Starr, was he maybe talking about me? Very well could have been. Very well could have been. Jabari Hargrove, I feel most of these crimes to trans women are happening because the aggressor is most likely in the closet and a bit demented. That is a great point. So I guess we can talk about the darker side of what leads up to it, is that, yeah, some men are closeted or on the down low, and they can have a hard time accepting that. Now, I know there are two different reasons, two similar reasons that people have pleaded the trans panic case. One, because the trans person did not disclose that they were trans before having intimate relations with that person. And then two, they either knew and then they didn't want their friends to find out, or the trans person was basically gonna out them, so they ended up committing a crime against that trans person. So those are a couple reasons on the darker side that I've seen happen, or that have been portrayed in the media, was that it was because of either being outed or the person didn't disclose. I feel you, Alan. I'm a trans attracted male, and it also hurts me and affects me when I hear another beautiful transgender person has been taken from us through violence. I don't know why you keep saying Alana Star. I mean, you're making good points, but this is not Alana Star's channel. Like, I need you to take a break, dude. I agree. The number one reason I would tend to refer to trans women as simply women is because most, or a lot of many trans women are more feminine than the genetic women that I encounter. I totally agree. Like, I mean, we put a lot into being feminine and being portrayed as trans, or as women, as trans women. So I think that's awesome. Tingy Orange, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today on a My 365. Welcome. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. Definitely. Sorry about the crude comment. It's fine. Like I said, this is nor the time or place for any of those. So either keep them to yourself or take a time out. Um, Hot Rod, welcome to the channel. You look amazing tonight. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I got giddy a little bit on the inside when you said my name. You love shout outs. Well, awesome. I'm glad. You see the hat I am. Okay, I don't know who that is, but okay. Good evening, Miss Amaya. Do you feel that sometimes the LGBT community casts off trans women and trans men because sometimes I feel LGBT kind of look at the trans people as outsiders. Oftentimes I have felt ostracized by the LGBT community, and I know that the T in LGBT is often swept under the rug. So I'm so glad that you brought that up because, yes, I do feel that trans men and women are often excluded from dialogue within the trans community or within the LGBT community. I think that our stories and our dialogue is definitely, you know, underrepresented in the whole picture of LGBT. And it's funny that, gay rights, gay rights are not trans rights. And so I don't know. I think, you know, I think there's some undertone of internal transphobia within the LGBT community. Totally, totally. And I mean that's with any community. With any community, there are internal racism within Black culture, within Latin culture, even within white culture. So I think with any group of people, you're gonna get some sort of internal conflict. And so ours is definitely in the LGBT. We are often left out as the T. We are often left out of narratives. For me, trans women are women like everyone else. I totally agree. Just our trans men are men. Like, I agree 100% and respect that. He very well could think you're someone else. Why do you think so, in your opinion, the being omitted? I think trans people are often, kind of the black sheep of the LGBT community because still have the stigma of, most of us are just sex workers or we're just hookers and prostitutes and, just out there kind of crazy and, you know, they don't really like to, I don't know, they oftentimes what I see is that they use trans people when it's convenient for their platform. And this is hard to talk about because it's so broad and it's not represented in every, of course, every group is different, but a lot of the platforms often leave out the T in LGBT or sweep it under the rug. Totally. So yeah, trans women are still women. Yes, I had an ex that is internally transphobic, calls unpassable trans bricks, and she calls the F word now. Okay, so yeah, I think there's gonna be some of that too. Is there's a class within the trans community that are seen as like elite, which is really sad. because, we should be uplifting to our trans sisters. But I mean, I was there. I was one of those mean girls who thought just because I was pretty and passable and had my boobs done that, the younger generation were bricks and, I wouldn't hang with them but I think it took some it took me to look back on my own experience and realize how bad that felt when I went through it, that I didn't want to do that to anybody else. And I think that's why I changed. And it was a quick change because, you know, I would see how it affected them. And I was like, man, now I feel like a bully. And so that's never okay. Never okay. J. Ray Carson, thank you so much for joining us tonight and welcome to My 365. I hope you're having a great weekend. Maybe we should start our own community. Hey, I'm here for it. And that's why I started the My 365 and the Foxstar community, is because I really wanted a safe place for trans people, for trans attracted people, and for people who are allies to have an open, welcome forum that we could just come to, that's peaceful, that's uplifting, that's really going to, be supportive of anyone who comes in from any walk of life. I wanted a safe place because I know what it's like to be on the other side of that, and it's not fun. It hurts. So I would never want anyone to have to go through that. So that's why we are here on a My 365 with all of you, and that's why our Foxstar community is here, is to support you guys and to support anyone in the community who needs it. So I totally agree with you. We should, and we are. That's what we're here for. Is this your first YouTube live stream? This is not the first, it's actually the second, but this is the first here on the channel. And like I said, I just wanted to make sure that I give you guys just all of me, all of the time that I could to connect with you guys and share these stories and share the trans experience so that we can really make a better world for the trans community. And since trans women are simply women, and I'm attracted to trans women for their feminine qualities, I don't identify as homosexual. I'm heterosexual. I'm not attracted to men, period. I think that's a great topic that you bring up, because most men who are attracted to trans women are not gay. And there's a stigma that if you're attracted to trans people, you're gay. So, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. That's awesome. Always amazing. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing for joining me, for giving me all the love and support. I couldn't do this without you guys. Stone, hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for joining us. Okay, you're waiting to get to 1K subs for when you can go live. Well, I wish you all the best for your channel, because I know the struggle. It definitely takes time to build. We didn't get here overnight, and it's just dedication, just making a space for people to feel that they're heard, to provide a platform that's encouraging and uplifting. You do those things and you're on the road to bigger and better things. 100%. But I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me for this My 365 Live. You guys give me all the inspiration, all the love and support that just really keeps me motivated and just warms my heart to see how amazing of a community we've become. The Foxstar family, a My 365 family. You guys just fill my heart every time, and I just want to show you all the love that I can give back to you guys just as much as you give to me. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can't wait for all the upcoming adventures. Our next video is our mukbang. My husband and I, we haven't decided what it's going to be, but it'll be a mukbang. You can come check us out, watch us gorge, and talk about some awesome topics, and I will see you guys in the next video. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.